Welcome back, fellow adventurers, to now a quest guide for the Heroic Kingdom of Levant. We're continuing with quest 2 today, the Sand Corsairs, and this is going to be hosted by me, Becca Panther 27. So let's go with Act 1.
Make it quick.
I have work for you.
Our situation is getting desperate. The war has cut us off from many of our usual trade routes.
And the few that remain are being plundered by bandits.
The worst are the Sand Corsairs, as they call themselves.
They make no demands, refuse all negotiations, and leave no survivors in their raids.
This needs thinking about.
Our city is not so lucky. If the Sand Corsairs are not dealt with, we may win the war only to come home to a city of corpses.
The Corsairs are extremely crafty. None of my agents have been able to locate where they operate from.
Do you have any leads I can
You're
use?
a somewhat recent addition to the city. It's possible the people in the slums might open up to you.
I do know that small amounts of food are being smuggled into the slums. So, now we've got to go and explore the slums and see if we can find some information. I've had to cut ahead because I had to pause the game previously, but you should all hopefully know how to get to the slums. It's just to the right of the player house. So we're going to head in there, and obviously the best person to talk to is going to be Pigeon Eye. Hopefully you've dealt with him before to unlock the merchant you can get here. So you'll know you're going the right way when you head in. Just head right towards the end, and you want to take the final left turn. You'll know you want to then go up the ramps, and you'll see then that Pigeon Eye is just in the center platform here. He's nice and easy to find, and we're going to see what he says.
You look like you've been around. Hey there.
You have a good view from up here. What have you seen?
I've seen smugglers from the tunnel hand out food down here.
That's more than the army or the nobles have done for us in ages. That's all I'm willing to say about that. Torture me if you want. I'm not condemning these slums to more starvation. What if I was able to get someone else to bring more food down here? The only people who can operate in Arbusar are the Corsairs around are the Soraborians, and as far as their merchants in the slums are concerned, they have no interest in helping us, unless there's a massive sack of silver involved. Good luck. So, he's given us some information then about the fact that there is food being entered, and the Soraborians might be involved. But we're going to have to go find someone else to give us information. Now the person I end up talking to is located near the merchant you unlock, which is just down below us right now. Obviously I walk around, so there's a chance this person might not be unlocked for you yet, but it's very easy to unlock, and we have another video that shows you how to unlock this merchant in this area.
What is it?
What do you want? You like you can take care of yourself, so no handouts for you. In fact, someone strong like you should be on our side. These new Levant tyrants running the city clearly don't care about the people. We should be working to overthrow them and bring back the rightful heirs to the region. You're from old Levant, I take it.
Listen up.
And proud of it. We may have been reduced to scavengers picking up bones, but we've never forgotten our Arbusar Plains pride.
What is it?
Where did you get that food? If I'm feeding people with it, what does it matter? How does some silver for that information sound? 10 silver. Start talking. There's some ruins out there in the desert I get 'em from. That's pretty much it. Think I need some more silver. Here we go. 100 silvers. It'll be our secrets. That could buy a lot for the people, things they need. Alright, you don't seem like a bad person. I'll talk. I get the food from some blue chamber guys holed up in some old ruins. They're not far from the city. Head south of Levant, west of that sea of sand, there's a little canyon entrance along the mountain walls. The ruined tower is at the end of it. Here, in case you end up in trouble, use this. I'd hate for my new friend to get killed before we meet again. So, we've got some information now, and now know where to go. So, let's speed on out to Abrasar and find where we are going. So, you want to obviously head south straight away. Head down obviously this tower walkway. I'm sure you've been this way before. And I head straight towards obviously that hive entrance. Trying to figure out exactly where I'm going. I had an idea that I probably had to go west down there, but just to be sure I checked up here, and that's definitely not the way to go because that's the hive, but it's a good ballpark to aim for. So once you get there you can head straight west down this canyon path. There are going to be some bandits down here. I came across 4, so wasn't quite prepared for them though, so I ran away, buffed up and went back to fight them. Love the noises they make in fast mode. Sneak around. They sound so cute when they die. Right, Act 2 then. So again, I assumed we'd probably have to fight these guys, but if you've got 100 silver on you, you can instead negotiate. But if you don't have that, I have been informed that you will end up fighting them. So, whether you want to use silver or not is up to you.
What?
What? State your business here. I remember you. That truck spawn from Cherzo with the blood price. What are you doing here? I should be asking that. What's a Blue Chamber tribesman doing working with the Sand Corsairs?
Not happening.
None of your business. Now, you will turn around and walk away. We have orders to kill anyone who interferes with our operation, and I'd rather not spill the blood of someone from my old hometown. Oh, look! 100 silver just fell out of my pocket. Enough to buy you a place from this awful desert.
Oh no.
This could buy our troops a lot of much-needed weapons. Fine. I don't like what the Corsairs are doing, so I'll trade your silver for what I know. Sagard won't be happy, but he'll understand.
Here's what's up.
The Corsairs loot incoming food caravans and then give us some of the food to deliver to the slums. The idea was to starve Levant and use offers of food to try and push the slum people into open revolt. The Sand Corsairs are operating out of the ruins of old Levant. It's the old ruined city under Abrasar's vigil crystal. Not that it'd do you any good, you could never take that place on your own.
Listen up.
There are dozens of men there, and it's been camouflaged by some Sauraborians as an archaeology site. Even if you could get past them, the Corsairs have an army in there. It's a death trap if anyone goes in alone. Sounds like I need backup then. Thank you for the information.
Off with you.
Don't thank me. We may have found an arrangement, but until the boss calls us off, we're enemies. So, you will find a chest just upstairs if you want to loot it. But otherwise, it's now just a case of heading all the way straight back to Levant, and we're going to go talk to our good friend Zahn. So I ended up bumping into a few more bandits as I headed out, so be prepared that they might have come back. Obviously quite a quick respawn. They almost got me, so I actually decided just to run away. Combat, not my best part of this game. Especially trying to play a sneaky character. I'm better at things like puzzles. But in we head then into Levant. And Zahn, you'll find obviously is just round to the left. I assume I'm saying his name right.
I beg your pardon.
I don't believe this. I come home after a string of victories against the Blue Chamber Collective only to find Levant besieged by bandits. I'm not leaving here until these Sand Corsairs are in a nice sandy grave. Sand Corsairs are actually hiding out in old Levant ruins. Some Sauraborians are camouflaging the whole thing as an archaeology expedition. Of course they are.
What?
Why in a lad's name would Sorobor be helping them? Great. How do we raid the place without triggering a diplomatic incident? You still have some merchant contacts, right? We need camouflage of our own to get inside. I see your plan. You want me to dress some troops up as merchants and weasel in with no one the wiser. Yep, that's the plan. Can you do it? Not a bad plan. There's one problem. Cyrene told me that old Levant is connected to an old cave system, the Slide, she called it. If we go in the front, it's possible the Corsairs will sneak out the back using the tunnel. Easy. You go in the front, I'll take the tunnel. Divide and conquer.
That should work.
If they try to escape, the slide is narrow enough that 1 or 2 warriors would be enough to hold it. I'll gather some troops and put the plan into motion. One entrance is a cave near some maroon ships not far from Abrassar's visual crystal. Here, I took the key from a Corsair I killed the other day. I think it might be the one of the doors inside the slide. You may need it. Right, so we know where we're going, back out of Levant, and we're going to be trying to find this location known as the Slide, northwest of a shipwreck. I'm sure you've all been to this shipwreck before, if you've travelled much around Abrassar, so let's head there now for scene 3. So let's have a quick check after we just eat something to keep the heat away. So we're obviously in Levant, that's the ruins, and there's an abandoned docks there, which is most likely where we're going to want to go. And there's obviously the shipwrecks we should all be familiar with. So yeah, northwest of the shipwrecks probably means then that we are going to be heading for this area, the abandoned docks, in order to get through to the ruins of old Levant. So you're obviously going to want to head straight down outside Levant. You can avoid the enemies as you're going along. Again, I'm sure most of you explored this area plenty already, so know your way. But if you need some markers, basically head towards the claw thing that comes out the ground, not sure what to call it, past the garden. You'll then see your shipwreck. Obviously there is a manticore around this area if you didn't know that already. So I'd avoid going through the shipwreck just in case you bump into it. Very difficult to defeat. Past these enemies and you'll see just up on the side there, that's the tower we want to go into. So cutting in. Obviously we're now inside. You'll notice I've actually changed my armour as well, prepared for some fighting. So there's 3 different ways to go. Could save you some time and tell you you're going to go right. But just to show you, obviously I ended up going down the first path. I'll be interested to come back here at some point because there is a slide down there. Definitely be interested to see where that goes at a later date. But luckily I come back, end up taking the right path as you enter instead. Looting some things, not much goods, but heading around the corner and obviously come to a gateway, and definitely seems now like the right way to go. Some lever, not actually sure what that lever ended up doing, but probably unlocked something, maybe made a way to go up there. Again, it'd be interesting to come back to this area and explore it. There's a couple of bandits to kill as you head through this area, so again, just be prepared. I end up popping a trap down. That's always my safety mechanism if I sort of need to run away and try and take out. Managed to get that sneak attack there, and they didn't notice, so bonus there. Buff up one of my skills. Sneak attack on him, almost completely killed him in 1 hit, but the other guys noticed me. Tried to hide, didn't quite work, so Managed to hit me for one. Really do like the noise they make when it's in fast mode. Went back and looted them. Had a bit of a look around. Lever there, which opened up the passage down there, and I noticed then obviously a chest here. Not openable. Obviously it wasn't that lever, so most likely going to be somewhere downstairs. Notice the blood. Definitely want to be a bit cautious. A lot more blood. And the reason why, a scourge. Luckily behind the other side of a closed gateway, giving me chance as a trapper to pop down a number of traps. Tried varying what I put in them, obviously to put different effects on the enemy when I do open it up. Choices. Decided just to go for the 4. Buffed up for my other skill, the Feral Strike. Sneak attack. Didn't do a lot of damage, but did do a lot of impact. Run away, let my traps do some of the work. 3 of the traps went off, and I was able to finish him off. So again, depending on your build, depends on how you're going to want to try and take on that Scourge. But preparation is always key in the battles of Outward. So, did just notice it there, but before I didn't. Obviously need to try and open that gateway. Wasn't sure how. Wandered around, looking around the room quite a few times before noticing the lever there. Pull that one. You will hear something open, and clearly the chest upstairs is now accessible. And it turns out to be a legacy chest. I will say here, for anyone still watching, that if you know anything about these legacy chests, particularly on PlayStation, because I have heard that they've been quite buggy on PlayStation, I'd love to hear your comments about how the legacy chests work, because I'm still trying to understand exactly how to use them. I have heard apparently you can put skills in there. We are on to scene 4. So again, any information on the legacy chests would be brilliant. In terms of where we're heading now, you've just headed out of the slide and you're now actually in Old Levant. You just want to head around to the right, basically up to the Vigil Tower. Again, a couple more bandits. To take care of there. He managed to get quite a few hits on me. Tried to sneak up on that guy, but he just walks up the vertical cliff, so we'll leave him. And I completely missed the guy that stood outside the door. But I'll take him on. And inside the headquarters we go. Right, there's 2, simple bandits to take care of first. Luckily the boss doesn't start until you talk to him. So, put all my traps down, ready for the fight. 5 should do the trick. Buff up.
What now?
Bow, Levantian rat, for you stand before the rightful king of Abrasar. I am Zagis, Chamberlord of Old Levant, Lord of the Sand Corsairs. So you're the leader of these murderous thugs.
Listen close.
I do what I must in order to restore the rightful legacy of the Abrasar Plains. Alat gave away what he had no right to, just because Calaxi and Simone slay the Devourer does not mean my people should surrender what is ours by rights. Being recognized as the ruler of Abrasar means so much to you that you'll turn your people into bandits and murderers. You obviously might want to go for the other option.
This is a grave insult.
They don't even recognize the laws of the Blue Chamber. Without rigid tribal law, there is no hope for survival. Levant seems to have survived pretty well without them before you started trying to starve them into death and murdering traders. Again, you might want to choose the other option. That may be true, but it was all I could do to keep the flame of old Levant alive. I will not be the one to extinguish that legacy. I would rather die than let old Levant be destroyed. Then the only way my people will be safe is to kill you. Defend yourself, Zagis. Then surrender honorably, take responsibility for your actions and end this conflict before your people end up slaughtered. Just back away, let him come to me. Oh, he's dead. Oh, okay. That was easy. I've heard quite a few comments about this guy being made more difficult, potentially in a future patch, because most people have said he's not as hard as he probably should be as one of the main bosses for you to fight. But fun to fling him around with some traps. There is a chest upstairs if you want to go and loot it. Has a couple of good things in it. Otherwise, we are now on to scene 5. We've headed outside. Excellent work today, Kiyomitsu. With their leader dead, it's only a matter of time before we've cleaned out the rest of these criminals. The Sand Corsairs and old Levant will be a distant memory before long.
Now the question remains.
The question remains, what do we do about this man? He's a Soroborian banker who is funding the entire operation. He could easily be the brains behind it all.
How dare you?
If you want the real culprits, point your fingers at Sagard Battleborn of the Blue Chamber, and at Zagis himself. All I did was keep things running smoothly. You still went along with their unhinged plans. You're still a war criminal as far as I'm concerned. I think we ought to make an example of you. Cyrene, do we give him the firing squad?
Unacceptable.
Hold up there a minute. Do you think Sorobor will take the execution of one of their most rich and reputable bankers lightly? We're the only way to get supplies for the desert. Kill me, and you kill Levant itself. I don't think Sorobor would be happy if this scandal went public, though. They might arrange for you to disappear to save their reputation. Ah, I see. You want a personal favour in exchange for your silence. Very well. You're not the first to blackmail me. What kind of favour are we talking about? Double your food deliveries to Levant at a quarter of the price. People are starving to death. Again, you might want to choose the other option and get a favour later. However, this decision does have a big influence on the later story. From what I have been told. Oosh, you drive a hard bargain. But I don't really have a choice, do I? I'll see that it's done, at least until the war is over.
Well, I guess that wraps this mission up.
Report to Cyrene over there, and we can call it a day.
Good work. With their leader dead, the Sand Corsairs are nothing more than disorganized rebels.
We'll have the last of them put down by the end of the week, and most of them are old Levant too. 2 birds, 1 bullet.
You've earned this.
Queen Calaxi will no doubtly recognize what you did for Levant here. Your reward for a job well done. I'll come with you on the convoy as well. It's going to save me walking back. So that does actually wrap up this quest. I would like to come back to this area and obviously explore it at some point. But here we are, now with 3 days to wait for the next quest. I hope you have found this quest guide useful. It's been quite an interesting quest to go through. Quite a lot of scandals going on. I will be sure to try and release the next quest soon for any of you that are either simply interested in seeing what happens or maybe a bit stuck on where to go yourself. Thank you again very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe to Clockwork Energy. I look forward to reading your comments and releasing future videos. Again, interested to hear anything about those legacy chests in the comments. Happy hunting everyone. This is Becca Panther signing out.